everyone, and welcome to today's webinar hosted by Ciphr, our pay and reward showcase, especially for today. And I'm joined by our top panel of experts from Ciphr. We've got Paul Graham, our senior product manager. Welcome, Paul. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. We've got Julie Lally, who's at MD of Payroll. Welcome, Julie. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Catherine. Good to be here. Excited for this session.
Brilliant. And we've got Amanda Barnes in, our sales manager. Welcome, Amanda.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the session.
And last but not least, we've got Gina Neal, who's business development manager for our benefits product. Welcome, Gina. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, thanks. Nice to meet you, everyone.
I'm going to give you a quick tour of our agenda and a quick overview, and then I'll pass over to our presenters. So Julie's going to give us some background about the payroll landscape and what's happening in terms of payroll development. And then Amanda's going to show you the new Ciphr payroll solution that we've recently launched. Paul will take us through our development roadmap for that solution. And Gina's going to give us a tour of the new Ciphr benefits product. And at the end, we'll just talk you through next steps after this webinar and our future plans for payroll. Do get involved during the webinar. You can say hi and share your thoughts in the chat. And if you have questions for our presenters, please use the Q&A option and we'll discuss those at the end. As you're all existing Ciphr customers, you probably know what we offer, but here's a quick reminder just in case you don't. We offer solutions across the employee lifecycle, ranging from recruitment and onboarding through to central HR, payroll software, as you know, payroll bureau as well, but also benefits, e-learning, LMS, and much more. We won't go into any of those additional products today. Today, the focus is just on payroll, but should you want any of that information, you can visit our website or email us at info@ciphr.com. With that, I'm going to hand over to Julie. Take it away, please, Julie.
Thank you very much. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We've been doing an awful lot of work over the last 12 months behind the scenes. And we've reached the point where we're ready to share with you as existing customers everything that we've been doing for future-proofing payroll, pay and reward. So first off, just want to talk about kind of our mission. So you guys have the toughest job of all, which is making sure that everybody gets paid accurately and on time. I don't think, having done 32 years in the payroll industry, I don't think I've ever seen as much payroll legislation and compliance as we have today. So our job is to support you to be able to make sure that everything is compliant and is delivered accurately and on time. So this is our mission and what we've been working towards over the last 12 months. And I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to share with you today what we've been doing. So first off, I'll talk about Accord because I don't want there to be any kind of inaccurate interpretation of what we're about to talk about. But Accord continues to serve us well. We have over 400 organisations in the UK paying over £5 billion worth of payroll transactions through the product every year. We continue to have and will have a dedicated product and development team working on Accord. So just to be really clear, this is not an end of life kind of scenario of Accord at all. But what the future of payroll looks like is the market is demanding true cloud products, which we know Accord isn't. It's a desktop application. And with an infinite amount of development and resource, we could never turn it into a true cloud product. So that's a blocker for future-proofing payroll. Since the pandemic, we've seen a massive switch to ways of working, and people now have hybrid working, remote working. Some organisations have even opted for overseas employees. So working from anywhere on a desktop application isn't something that you can achieve. And technology's moved on. So gone are the days where people go out to market to buy a new payroll system and are still continuing to be happy with moving data manually from one solution to another. So getting payroll data in through uploading CSV files is not what the market is demanding anymore. the market is demanding true API integration. So with that in mind, what we plan to serve to our customers is a true cloud payroll solution, which is actually API-led by design. So that means before we even build a screen that you would use, we build the APIs first so that we can integrate into any application, whether that's HR, workforce management, finance systems. So that just alleviates the need to move data manually. So, you know, extracting files or uploading files into the payroll system. So that just eliminates any opportunity for human error. And something that I'm very passionate about is the payroll solution is real time. So gone are the days where you have to run a payroll calculate, because everything's always in a constant state of readiness. So what that means is when a piece of information lands in the payroll system, it automatically behind the scenes, without a prompt from a human, it automatically updates the payslip and the calculations on the payslip. It updates the reports, the RTI file, etc. So when you come to need to produce the payroll or those reports or those files, they run in split second. And one of the other challenges that we aimed to alleviate was the need to do calculations outside of the payroll system manually. So things like your prorations, your back pay, all that good stuff, to ensure that that's delivered from the payroll system. So what we've been doing over the last 12 months. So in May last year, we acquired an organisation called Ciphr, and Ciphr have built this API-led cloud solution for payroll, and has lots of customers, about 800 to 900 customers using the product. But then we kind of took the product off the market whilst we invested heavily in a 12-month sprint of development. And this was to get certain features into the product that I've just been talking about, really, to make sure that it is a real contender for the mid-market in the UK. And then in February, we launched Ciphr Payroll to the market, and I have to say it's flying off the shelf. It's very successful. And a big reason why is it's been designed by payroll people. So do you ever get into a card and think, why isn't, you know, or why is a report hidden in a certain place? Why isn't it just there when I need it, when you're partway through a payroll cycle, for example? Those kind of things don't happen in Ciphr Payroll, because the logic is there because it's been designed by people who run payroll. So we're at this exciting point now where we're ready to bring you guys on the journey. So what we're going to do is have a demonstration of Ciphr Payroll. So Amanda's very kindly going to do that for us. Then Paul will then pick up the product roadmap, and then Gina will pick up the reward. And then I'll join you back at the end. So Amanda, I'm very excited for this. Over to you, please.
Thanks ever so much, Julie, and I am super excited to be able to present the Ciphr Payroll solution to you. I think I know some of the people on this call. Obviously, today is going to be an overview, so we're going to take about 15-20 minutes to have a look at what a payroll cycle looks like on the new Ciphr Payroll cloud solution. But if you know, you want to spend more time with us, then let's get together and we can understand how it's going to work for your organization. So I'm going to share my screen now so that we can have a look at it together. So just one moment, and this will all come together like magic. There we go. Could one of the presenters just confirm that that is coming up all right?
It is, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much. So, so you can see I'm in a web browser. You know, that's going to be one of the really key differences straight away for you as Accord users. That it's web-based. So You will not be using remote desktop. You will be absolutely able, as Julie was saying earlier, you can access this absolutely anywhere. We have all the security accreditations at Ciphr, of course, that you would expect. So you've got absolute assurance of the protection of your data. And again, we'd be very happy to share any details about that, the ISO 27001 and Cyber Essentials Plus accreditations. Okay. The walkthrough I'm going to take you through, we'll have a look at an individual company, and then we will look at how you're going to set up a payroll and maintain it yourself. That's going to be a big difference for you as a core customers as well. And we will have a look at the employee maintenance and run a payroll and checks. So you can see I've gone to my companies over on the left-hand menu bar here. It is a multi-company system. So you will be able to set up an unlimited number of PAYE schemes. And the system is also able to support multiple pay frequencies within a single PAYE. So you can see in my demo payroll here, I've got monthly, I've got another monthly, but I've got my directors, so that can have a separate payday, as you can see, and I've also got a weekly here. So I'm only going to concentrate on one of them, but it's just so you can see that you can really clearly manage your separate pay runs if that's appropriate for your company. Okay, so we've got this really lovely big clear dashboard, so we can see exactly what's going on with our payroll the minute that we log in. I can see my RTI submissions are up to date. I can see where I am on my HMRC liability, and I can record payments that I've made so that we've got this accurate ongoing total. Let's just go back to the dashboard. And as also you would expect, it is an HMRC recognised solution. So we have the DPS connection to government, so that you can download the tax code notices and view them here and apply them to all records. Okay. So one of the main things that you might be noticing already is that there's far fewer clicks to get to the things that you need to do as well. There's you know, the menus are very intuitive. I think you're going to find your way around this product really quickly. So let's company setup. When you are configuring a payroll or making any amendments to the settings for your payroll, you'll be able to see the company name, address, government gateway, credentials. Again, these are all really clear and very easy to view and edit. These bank file settings, so there's some predefined back export files, so that whether it's your own or a client payroll, you'll be able to give them their banking file or hand that over to finance so that they can upload that into your back system. Okay. In the pay run settings, we can predefine also when payday is. So if we have a look at my monthly payroll, you can see that I've said it's always going to be on the 25th. And I can set things like reference periods. So if your current month, for example, for your pro rata salary calculations, let's see that there. When you start the pay run, of course, you can change the payslip date if that fell on the weekend. We've got the pro rata method sitting here, and also company sick pay will automatically calculate. So we can apply your rules for the number of full pay, half pay. And I've got some nice calculations to show you on that as well, so you can see how that appears on a pay slip if you are bringing absence into the system. Okay. Setting up your pay elements. This is similar to the wage types that you've got in Accord. So your wage types, at the moment, some of them can be very complex, and it can be quite difficult to see how you set them up in Accord. For the new Ciphr payroll, you can see it's very, very clear. We've got this list of payments and deductions, and if you want to add a new one, then we can give it an ID code. You might like the ID codes that you've already got in in accord. You can keep those going if you like. So if I don't know, we can call this anything. We can tell the system where we want it to appear in the order, and we can give it a name. So perhaps we're going to have Julie's bonus that we want to pay everybody. In the definition of how we're going to pay it, it can be a cash value, it can be units and rate, it can be a gross up. So say you wanted to pay £100 net, it's going to gross up the liability. But we've also got automated rolled up holiday pay. So the rolled up holiday pay would be for your casuals or 0 hours workers. Most people are using the 12.07% for that. But you can see down here, we've also got average holiday pay. So we know there's a really strong demand for this from an awful lot of customers to have the 52-week average calculation automated by the system. So that will calculate the rate to pay when somebody takes holiday. Okay. So if you've got spreadsheets and other methods to achieve these, we want to help you to bring that into your system and have that fully automated. Under the default values, you can see we can also predefine cost centres, department subcodes, and so on. That's going to come through to your journal reporting a little bit later on. Okay. So there's Julie's bonus. We'll make a payment against that a little bit later on. Pensions auto-enrolment is also standard within the system. If you have Nest, then we are absolutely thrilled to say there is a direct API link to the Nest portal. So as long as you put your credentials into the Ciphr payroll solution, you'll be making returns just at the press of a button. For other pensions, if I just show you how to add a new pension scheme here, you can see we've got, again, some predefined export layouts for the main pension schemes that are used in the UK. Within each of the pension schemes, you can have different contribution groups. We know, again, there's a huge take up on salary sacrifice schemes. And I think Gina's going to circle back on that when we have a look at the benefits and reward side of the solutions that we can offer you at Ciphr. But you can see here, I've got different contribution groups. If I wanted to add a new one, then let's just call it new. Then you can see we can determine the basis of pensionable pay, the contribution type, and also if it is salary sacrifice, if you add any employer's NI savings back to the pot. So again, really clear, very easy for you to maintain the solution yourself. Okay. Whilst we're on pensions, the letters are also automated. So if you provide the joiners letters, postponers, ELICA letters, then these are mail merged directly from the system and you can bulk email them out. So as long as you've got the employee's email on their record somewhere, again, it's a single push of a button and it's going to send all of those mandatory communications out for you. Okay, it'll keep a copy of that as well, of course, on the employee record. Okay. Let's have a look at the employees now. So we've seen a little bit of the background and how you can maintain the system and the setup yourself. So let's have a look at the employees and then we can go on to the pay run. Just keeping an eye on the clock, make sure I don't run over too much. I love this system so much, I can go on a bit. So in the employees, we see a lovely list of everyone. This search bar is fabulous. You can just start typing and it will just go off and find the closest match for you. So you can do that on NI number, employee number. It's really easy to find the records that you want to work with. Let's pop into Camilla. Again, it's that really great, clear dashboard view again. So name, address, date of birth, date of joining, tax code, all of those lovely things are at a glance. Their bank details and maybe some of the P45 details, that kind of thing. And then we've got a number of tabs along top here, so we can see more information about the employee. Camilla's not got any pay. Let's have a look at Bob. I'm sure he's got some. Okay, so you can see the salary. This will show changes as well, so you will have a history building up of the changes of salary over time, permanent allowances. So that would be similar to the fixed wage types that you've got in Accord at the moment. On to absence. See, I've been playing around with Bob quite not this absent, but you can see that we can maintain sickness in here. Company sick pay and statutory sick pay will calculate automatically from the dates of absence that are entered, and the statutory parental leave is in here too. Okay, so if you had a maternity or a paternity case, again, just set up the dates and it will pay the statutory amounts for. This data can all be imported as well. If you're an HR customer, a lot of the data that we've been seeing, so starters, leavers, movers, full integration. And again, Paul is going to have a chat with us about roadmap and what that looks like. But dynamic real-time update of data from HR, and that will include sickness. The individual's pay slip histories, we can just tap into these as well. So if I just tap on one of those, you can see details of their previous pay. We can reprint old pays and send those by email if that's appropriate. And the really great thing about this is it creates a historic reporting database. So when we have a look at the reporting, all of this data, including cross-tax year, we can just pull into a report. There's a nice example as well of that sick pay calculation. So the absence that went in for January, you can see it's really clear on the pay slip. So we've had fabulous feedback from customers on this. It can really massively help reduce those queries coming through to you in the payroll office because employee can't argue with that. They can see exactly the date that they were off sick and the impact to their pay for doing that. Okay. The individual's pensions membership will be shown here, and the payrolling benefits in kind is all completely integrated into the system. So again, if you had, maybe this person had a company car, enter the car details, the CO2 emissions, and the value of the car, and the reportable value will go straight through to the pay run and increase their taxable pay and all the lovely things that go with that, FPS submissions, and a nice year-end statement as well. Let's just tap on that. I think you won't see that because I'm only showing one window. I can come back to that. It comes up on my Adobe viewer. We can always provide screenshots and things later on. Lastly on here, I just want to show you the court orders. So as you would expect, again, the compliant datary stuff is absolutely standard on them. All of your different types of orders will be in there. Okay. So we've had a look at the employee record now. Let's go and pay them. So I'm going to go into the pay run. Yeah, because I've got multiple pay frequencies on my company, we can see that we've got a number of pay runs. We can also see the previous pay runs. So if I want to see the data for my April payroll, I can tap on that and it's just going to open up and give me the payslip history. I can see summaries and I can see any of the reports that I want to run for that pay period. I can also, it would be, probably exceptional reason for you to do this, but you can also reopen a previous run, make any changes and send an additional FPS for that change. Okay, let's go and have a look at a live run. So just going back to my pay runs. So in this pay run, I'm going to show you the magic on a weekly run, but then we'll go back to the monthly. So in my weekly run, I'm going to start a new pay run, hit that button, confirm pay date. That was bank holiday the second. And it goes ping. Here's everybody and their pay. And it's done the gross to net calculation for everybody instantly. So at the moment where you're piling data in and then hitting calculate and then waiting for that bar to run across the screen to finish the calculation, that's gone. So from this point forward, all we need to do is add another payment. Let's give Julie's bonus to this person. We can change the payslip description and we can also put an amount in. So let's give this person £500. Hit the save button. Oh, he does want some text. So Julie thinks you're great. Save that. This, of course, again, can all be imported or connected to a TNA system or any other third-party timesheet system to pull it in automatically. You can see as soon as I put that in gross, and I've got a new net. So you don't have to run a recalculate all of the changes that you make. It just instantly updates. It's truly magic. So any of the sort of checking and amendments, all you have to do is come in and put the data that you want to see, and it's there. That's your completed payroll. So we can follow that through on the payslip as well. So if I check Michelle's, sorry, again, I didn't share Adobe with you. If we check the payslip, it will be showing on the payslip. And if we go to any of the reports, so if I go to the pay elements report, you can see there's the description that's come through, and we can see all of the individual elements. Let me show you that also on the monthly payroll. So I've got a monthly run that's already started. I've got a few other things here to show you as well. So it does the exceptions as it goes. So again, at the moment, you'll be getting an exception report when you finish calculation. Those are shown on the individual's record, so up really clearly. But you can also view them in the alerts area, and you can use that to filter. So you can see I've got a lever in my run. If I hit final payment, it's going to jump straight to the person who has a final payment. There's the salary and there's the pro rata calculation. So you can check that as well as you go. So really, really great visibility of the things that the system is doing for you. This person happened to be off sick as well. And so we've calculated that they're entitled to 13 days company sick pay. It's deducted pay from their salary and introduced an extra line that says company sick pay. And also the SSP is offset. So again, we've got that in and out adjustment for the SSP. Okay. You can also put payslip notes. So you can put global payslip notes, or you can put individual notes on the payslips as well. Okay. Just going to remove that filter so we can see more people. So we've got the pensions auto enrollment. So we've got a little pensions link there, and so that we can see the details of their plan and change their contribution rates if you wanted to. And let me just show you one more thing on entering a payment as well. So if we were to put in some hours, for example, so say we want to tell the employee that they are being paid for overtime that they did on the 15th of May. Again, that can all be imported. They did 20 hours. They worked really hard that day. And it was £15 an hour. Under the advanced, this is where we can change the codes that apply to that payment. So it might be that you want some additional transactional analysis codes to apply to that. So let's save that. Again, we're seeing updated overtime. And when we go through to our reporting, again, we can see all of these descriptions. The reports always go to screen, as you can see. If I hit description, it will order those. If I hit quantity, amounts, you can see it's we can change the ascending and descending order of any of these. And you can also move them around. Maybe you want cost code to go across there and description to move here, and then you can save that as your layout, download that CSV or Excel. Okay, there's lots of reports, including a variance report, so we compare this period, last period, and there is of course a journal export. So in the journals, your codes. If we hit the configure, you can see that we can apply your cost codes to the analysis of the payroll. And we have set exports for Sage and Xero. Okay. The pensions as well, you'll be able to view the pensions reporting, so we can see pensionable pay and the contributions, and we can hit the button there to download the file, or if I'm connected to Nest, we could just hit the button and submit those details directly to Nest. Okay. So you're going to go through your normal sort of checking and updating and changing the data. As you can see, that will be done in real time. So when you finalised your payroll, we can complete the pay run. So I'm going to hit complete. We can run the pay slips. These will be integrated with HR again, or you can just you can send these to or email them to everyone, and we can do an HMRC submission. So the FPS, see again, I've been playing around with this payroll a little bit. So this is great because you can do multiple FPSs on a single payroll. And let's hit submit. So that's going to go straight off to HMRC. All from one screen. So again, compared to how you might be doing your payroll routine in Accord at the moment, we're not having to jump around in lots of different menus to get to what we need. It's all nice and neatly in the pay run area, and we can tell that we submitted. Okay, done. Just one more thing on reports, just to show you that there are also those take reports and the custom reports too. So lots and lots of data that we can pull out. If we have a look at payroll data, maybe something like the gross to net reports, you can see up here that I can ask the system to give me different date ranges. So if I say, give me everything from last year, apply that, and it just gives me all of my data. Okay. So that was a bit of a flying visit. I think I hit roughly 20 minutes. So I hope that's been really an eye-opener for how payroll can be done different for your organisation. And I will I'll stop sharing now. And hand over to the next presenter.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Amanda. That was great. So the development roadmap, as Julie alluded to earlier on, we've had quite a busy time since the payroll system was acquired, and we've been putting in a lot of features and a lot of work to really hone in that payroll process and help you guys run your payroll. So we're going to jump into the roadmap now. And then we've got some other slides on the HR and payroll integration as well, which we can come on to. So first and foremost, what are we working on at the moment? That's probably the most exciting bit. HR and payroll integration is key. I won't go into too much detail now. It deserves its whole slide on its own, so we're going to wait for that and come back onto that at the very end. As Amanda's alluded to in the demo, we have been working on average holiday pay, both the 52-week average and the rolled up nature. So that's in its very final stages, and it's going to be pushed to live very, very shortly, which is exciting. We are working on some automated calculations as well. So at the moment, average weekly earnings for parental pay is quite a big one. It's currently manually input, but we are doing a development whereby it will look back at your history and automatically calculate that for you as well. So that's a really key part, is really automating that process to reduce the manual intervention and stopping you guys from having to do any calculations yourselves, really. We then move on to employee pay elements, and we've broken these down into a fair few different features in itself. So back pay, the automation of back pay is key. Reducing balances, we've learned from our customers that reducing balances is really important, so we're putting that into the system. And proration as well, so not proration just on salaries, but on individual pay elements, so allowances and things like that. We are increasing the level of audit reporting as well, so you can look back at the data that has been put into the system and find out who input it, when it was input, and what on what date. So for audit purposes, that is key. The final one that we're working on within this quarter, which we did have a question about in the Q&A, is the company sick and parental pay. So at the moment, we've got the ability to process company sick pay that Amanda touched on within the demonstration, but we're increasing the functionality of that. So we're going to be able to put in multiple schemes for both company sick and parental pay, and that will incorporate things like length of service. It'll incorporate certain criteria. So if you've got half of the business that operate one sick policy and the other half do another, we'll be able to focus on that as well. So coming up, and what's in planning, again, the integration is a running theme, which you'll see within our roadmap. As we progress towards the later end of the year, we've got the compliance work for the new tax year. And then, most importantly, as part of this section, is probably the multiple posts, which we're going to be focusing on. And that we've broken that down into working patterns and job and pay details as well. So we will have a whole suite of functionality all surrounding multiple posts. So you can really drive forward the workforce management side of the system. We then move on to pensions. Pensions is quite a big one that we've been told about. Certainly public sector schemes and returns such as teacher pensions, local government, things like that. So that's going to be a key focus for us. And then really exciting part of this particular section is AI. We really want to start introducing some AI into the system. And we're going to start getting some customer feedback and things like that for you to help us inform what we should do. But we will be focusing primarily on the reporting and the error checking. So we want to surface those errors to you without you having to go look for them. And that's a really key part of our AI plan. We then move into the latter part of the roadmap, and these are things that we're considering at the moment. These aren't limited to just this. We are considering more, but these are the key standout ones, which are pensioner payrolls, the ability for people for payroll bureaus to utilise the system, or if you've got multiple payrolls within your business, this functionality could also suit you. Holiday pay accruals. So we're tying back into the holiday pay section. So we're constantly iterating on features that we've delivered. And then we come into further integration such as benefits, which Gina will come on to after the roadmap piece. And then more AI work as well. So we've got some payslip interactivity that we're considering. So you can talk to your payslip, you can understand a little bit more about your payslip. Certainly for employees, it'll be good for them to be able to do that, and it will stop the noise coming into your payroll department and hopefully help people be a little bit more self-sufficient at the same time. So that's what we're working on and what we're planning on working on. We can now come on to the HR and payroll integration. So for those of you that do use our HR system, we really want to reduce the nature of the double entry within the system. We're aware that you complete data in HR and then have to go over to your payroll system or via a pay link and have to produce that same data and input that same data. We want to remove that completely. And we've got a clear plan in order to roll out the integration within the system. The first phase is going to incorporate a comprehensive UI, so you can see your starters, your levers, and your changes, and transfer them across via a synchronization process, which we'll come on to. We've got a controlled data flow as well, so that means that as part of your HR and payroll process, you will be able to pause the data flow. So then you can get on with your checks and your balances and your standard month or period end processes for payroll. And you can select individual pieces of data to move across when that's paused as well, which we'll come on to a little bit in a little bit more detail soon. All of this is really with the view to retain HR as your single source of truth. Your employees are managed within HR, the contracts are managed within HR, their working patterns, so on and so forth. And we don't want people having to maintain 2 different systems and therefore run the risk of things becoming out of date. So HR will be the source of truth, and payroll will pick up that information and process the payroll as needed. We move on to the latter iterations of the integration. So we're always going to be looking at this and always going to be taking feedback as to what we should do and how else we can enhance that integration. So for following the initial rollout, we're going into phase 2, which will be looking at things like your allowances and one-off payments, such as overtime and bonuses coming from HR into payroll. And then we've got a further phase of sickness absence and parental leave coming in, which will be key. And then that will tie in with the existing features that we're working on. So parental leave, for example, we can bring that across into payroll. It will calculate your average weekly earnings automatically. It will produce the payments for the period of parental leave. So there's minimal touch points for you to have to do within the system, which is great. It really frees you up to do more important things rather than data processing. And then we've got under consideration parts of the roadmap as well when it comes to the integration. So we're looking at bi-directional, i.e. a 2-way sync between HR and payroll, and then bringing things in such as pensions, other absences, holiday pay, reduced imbalances, and benefits. And it's not limited to just that. There are a number of things that we are considering, which we'll always look for your feedback for as well. So moving on to the last couple of slides, this is a sneak preview of what the integration looks like. So within the payroll management screen, you'll notice on the far right or top right of the system, there is a synchronization button. That will basically turn on the data flow. So every bit of data that you put into HR will feed across into payroll. When you're ready for it to be paused, you just hit the toggle, it will pause the synchronization, and therefore that data will start queuing up, which we'll come on to shortly. This is a summary page that you're looking at now, so you can check the status of the data changes. So you can see here that we've got 143 in progress, 12 success and 26 failures. So it will enable you to look at those individual ones, certainly the failures, and rectify any data errors. Same for the status of employees at the bottom as well. So if you've got new starters that have been added to the system, you might have incomplete data. So therefore we need to focus on those. And then on the right-hand side of the employee status, you've got the 143 that are also eligible. And these are new starters that are ready to go across into payroll. So with a click of a button, you can send those across, and the new starter record from a HR perspective will all be set up. There will be further things to annotate on that payroll record, such as tax code, NI category, and things like that. But you'll have the core pieces of information, so you don't have to duplicate your efforts. And the final slide on the integration, this is the actual data changes within this particular pay run. So at the very top, you'll see that you can view the individual pay run and the relevant status of that. This one's open. And then further below, we've got the waiting to be processed. So as a simple site check, you can see where the changes are within the synchronization process. You've got a status column on there. And then you can select, if the synchronization is paused, you can selectively sync data during the payroll process, i.e. bank details change or stopping late leaver notification and stopping an overpayment and things like that. So we're really trying to drive forward the operational efficiencies that you've got or that you need within the system, and to stop you doing so much manual work. So that is the end of the roadmap and the integration slide. I will now hand over to Dina to go through the benefits.
Hi, thanks very much, Paul. That's fantastic. Great that it's the best to leave the best till last. So I'll just share my screen and show you through Ciphr benefits. Give me a moment. And can someone just confirm they can see the screen?
Yeah, looks great.
Thank you. Lovely. Well, so basically, Ciphr benefits here is a joined up service that can come along with the payroll too. We've got here's a dashboard screen here where we can put certain things like a carousel with maybe some welcome videos, and we can really sort of pinpoint certain benefits that you want to promote, especially with all the national insurance changes, to really promote some salary sacrifice to go through to save on the company national insurance. We can have birthday messages and any sort of open windows for certain benefits that you want to offer. We can have countdowns. There's lots of sort of different ways that we can present the benefits and reward your employees as well as paying them as well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of delve straight into the benefits section here. Now, we have a lot of benefits that are on offer to people, and we would work really closely with you to ensure they are going to suit your staff, the demographic, and what kind of thing that you want to promote within the business. On the main benefits page here, you will get a summary screen here, which will show the employee what they've already selected. So on this employee here, they've got their pension, and they've selected some extra life assurance that they wanted, some higher cover. And there's also a flex statement here as well. So this shows their salary, and obviously this information is going to come through from payroll. Any sort of, they might have a pay increase coming up as well, which will be reflected in here as well. And then any benefits they've already got selected. This is a live update as well. And as I'll show you now by selecting a benefit, how that updates as well. So on this main screen here, we have a key to show people what benefits are open for selection, closed, and what they have already got selected. We've put it into 4 categories on our demo site. However, we do work and we customize this to really the needs of your business. Just to show you the stages and how easy and intuitive it is to use, I'm just going to pop into the pension for now. And I want the choice of actually changing my pension contributions for next month. So I'm going to pop in here. I can read about all the information all to do with the pension. I'm going to manage this pension contribution and say, actually, do you know what? This month I'm feeling that Julie might give me a bonus. I'm going to add in 13% contribution to my pension this month. It's going to tell me how much that's going to cost. It's going to show me tax savings. And I can also press on the blue button here to see the overall, how much difference it's going to make to me. So as you see here, my current payment is £175. If I make that change for this month, that's £325 it's going to cost me. And it's going to tell me whether I am going to save on tax and national insurance or one or neither. If I'm happy with that, I can resume through here, press next to the second of the 3 stages of the process, where I sign an e-agreement. I can download it. It all gets saved within the system anyway and complete it. And what's happening on this 3rd stage now is all the automation and the joined up service that we have. So this is going to update payroll. This is going to basically say, this month, you need to take this much off this person for salary sacrifice. It's also going to have a provider report to let the pension company know. And it's also going to have a report that goes to your HR administrator just to let them know what changes are happening in the system so you can keep an eye on everything that's going on. So that 3-stage process works for most of the benefits that are on here. The only thing it doesn't work for is the discounts section, which is a different way to do it. So just to run through again, we've got, say, if you've got some private medical insurance, we can go in here, put all the details on. We make a new selection. You can choose what kind of thing you want. Employee only. This company's paying, well, Ciphr paying for private medical insurance for people. So it says your employer will pay, or if you wanted to add your children into that, it will tell you how much it's going to cost. And we've got that same 3-stage process. I can look at the roadmap here. That's how much it's going to cost me. And at any time, you've got that information ready for you. So I'm just going to pop back to the benefits screen here. Now, what we've done is we've got all the benefits on offer here. That these are all regulated benefits like critical illness income protection that you would have, that if you've got them, we put them on here and we can administer those through for you with all the automation. But we also have other things on offer like health cash plans. We could put holiday trading on here. Again, that would all update as well with the links through. Payroll giving, lots and lots of different things that we can actually put on here for you. Now, other things that will be part of the system automatically for you are, this is called Benefit Hub. This is a discounts shopping retail store, which is really, really popular, where you can go into like food and drink and you can buy all your shopping with discounts. We've got a gym discount site, which is the best corporate rate available as well on any of the gyms, local leisure centres, golf clubs, protein powders, clothing, a massive array of things as part of the benefits package. We've got discounted gadget insurance. We can do salary sacrifice schemes on technology, big, your white goods or Apple Mac computers. There's absolutely many, many things that we can do on the site to reward your staff. I'm going to move on next to the total reward statement, which is going to show your employees exactly what they're getting here. So if Julie had given me a bonus, then it would be showing on here as Julie's bonus as well. And it would be here a total reward statement to show the full package. So it's not just about people's base salary. And this can be used in retention conversations, in reviews, and we can print this off as well from here. Moving on to the next section here is announcements. There's a really, really good comms tool on here where we can put in surveys. You can easily do it yourself from the administration side, or we can upload them for you. And just to give you an example, we can put surveys on here for mental health, all different ways to answer. We can have drop-down boxes, yes and no. We can make a bit of fun with it and really to engage the employees to come into the site and use it. You can use this for company news, for surveys. You can actually section out and tailor which group of people you want to send it to. Could even be that first aiders might need a refresh of a course or something like that that's not applicable to the other people. I'm conscious of time, so I'm quickly going to go to reward and recognition here. This is a really fantastic opportunity here to really automate a rewards process. And this is something that we can link to high street vouchers to make it really quick with hardly any admin for you. This is where we give points to a manager who can then go and reward their staff. They could nominate people. Let's say, Amanda, you've been great today. I'm going to nominate you for some fantastic work. And we can really customize these rewards for you. And we can link it to company values as well. So this will ping off and say, well done, Amanda, you've got some points to spend. And Amanda can come in here and she can see what rewards are available with her points. And she can redeem those points. And she can go in and grab a voucher code and go and spend on whichever vouchers that you've got in there. So Amazon, Prezi are really good ones as well. We've also got a leaderboard here or a recognition wall that you can have. We've got peer-to-peer recognition with e-cards, which is the same process, but basically without the points. We also have an award zone available here where we can automate Hero of the Month, Hero of the Year. You can also nominate colleagues for maybe some vouchers if you'd want to. So you can nominate through a certain person here. Amanda, you've been really great with consistency, and you can ping that through as well and nominate people on there. If I just pop down to the end as well, the last bit on reward and recognition is the long service wall here. So this is really popular at the moment to recognise people. We can link this to vouchers. We can link this to balloons coming along the page as well and thanking people for how long they've worked there. we can also set up certain campaigns like health and wellbeing, for example, where we just, have a specific page which is linked to all these kind of things. We've got gym discounts on here. We've got one here called Plan My Baby. We've also teamed up with Lottie, who do elderly healthcare, to help you with discounts for care homes and things like that as well. So there's a lot that we can do with you, and really dedicate it to specifically what your employees are looking for. And also, obviously, we can link off to HR and payroll through the site as well. So, and that's a quick whistle-stop tour. So I don't I can't even speak. Whistle-stop tour. So I don't go over time. But thanks so much, and I'll nip back now to Julie to carry on from there.
Thanks, Gina. Thanks, Amanda, and thanks, Paul. Really well thought through presentations there. So thank you. So I just want to talk about kind of what happens next, really. So what we're going to do is host quarterly webinars that we're going to invite you along to, so that we take you on the journey with our product roadmap. However, a couple of things I've just noted. So when Paul was talking about the developments in progress, so they are the first phase of the HR integration, the average holiday pay, average weekly earnings, back pay, decreasing balances, proration, audit reporting, and enhancements to company and parental leave. They're all in development now. We're looking to close that development at the end of this month, June. So when we say it's in progress, it's imminently ready for release. So I just want to be super clear on that, because I've seen in some of the questions, some of you are looking for some of those features. And one of the other things, Paul, one of the questions from Rob was, is it possible to create custom reports? And I thought, I'll be typing forever if I try to answer that in the Q&A. So would you mind just talking us through your plans for reporting, please?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so reporting is going to be a running theme throughout our roadmap anyway. So I think I might have touched on this, but you can never have too much reporting within payroll. Custom reports is something that we have rolled out recently. We've got what we're referring to as a report builder, report designer. So you can take an existing basis of the report and then add further fields into it to suit what you're trying to achieve. And then once that report is saved down, you can do another one and another one, and so on and so forth. So we won't. It's not as though it's a picker for you to start from scratch. We're trying to save you time, a bit of a shortcut by utilising an existing report, and then you can add further things onto it. Hopefully that answers your question, but we can have a one-to-one session. We can go through it in a bit more detail if that would be easier.
Yeah, that's a good shout, Rob. If you do want us to have a separate session, please just ping myself or Paul, and we can get that. In fact, ping Paul, because I'm going on holiday for a couple of weeks, and Paul can set that up. But you can see that was why it was too big an answer to try and put in the Q&A chat. So yeah, we're going to be doing these quarterly webinars. We'd love you to kind of come on this journey with us. What I do want to reiterate is this is not an end-of-life project for Accord. So I don't want anybody going away from this thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to move. That's not what this is about. We just wanted to show you, look, this is what we've been doing the last 12 months. This is why we've been doing it. And if you would like to consider moving and migrating onto Ciphr Payroll, that's within your gift. So Teresa, to answer your question, it's entirely up to a customer if they want to move onto Ciphr Payroll. And if you do wish to explore that, contact your account manager, which will either be Adam, Josh, or James. And what we then do is kind of do a one-on-one deep dive demonstration, sort of answering all your questions and just making sure that the product's ready for you now. And please come and join us on the 12th of August and the 4th of November. We will be sending out invites where we're going to do product updates. We're going to be able to show you all the new features that we've been building in. I think we've answered all the questions, because I could see we were hurtling towards running out of time or overextending. that just really, if I just jump past the Q&A slide, leaves me to say thank you ever so much for joining, and great to see lots of you who have got, I've had lots of good conversation with. There was just one note I did make, which was on Ciphr Payroll, we've bench tested the product. That means how big a payroll can it run, and how long would that take? So we bench tested a single payroll at week 52, because that is the hardest week to crunch, with 30,000 payees, and it took a couple of seconds. So I think that just gives you the kind of peace of mind on how we can scale this product. So as you grow, product can grow with you. I'd just like to say thank you very much for everybody attending. Do contact your account manager if you need anything. And Rob, please contact Paul if you want to explore reporting further. Thanks ever so much. Thanks for joining. Have a great weekend when you get there, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.